Hey, my beautifuls. How are we all? Just making sure that I've got a connection going, that we're live. Thought it was about time I jumped on here, showed my face. Missed last week because, of course, I was sunning it up, sitting on a beach and just basically taking some time out, which was really awesome. It was really nice just to chill. And sorry, Instagram, I think my connection is not very good. It keeps telling me that it's poor connection. Not sure, but there's a lot I can do about that. Let's see if that will work, if it's going to reconnect me. Bear with me, everybody on Facebook, while I get this going. Okay, it looks like we are live. Hey, how are we all? Trying for another evening time just to see how that kind of works for everybody. And of course, you can always catch this on a replay. So it's only a quick one tonight. I'm basically just going to jump in and talk about a topic that I posted about earlier today that I kind of wanted to just dive in a bit more off the cuff and talk about, and that is the topic of freedom and what that looks like as part of your holistic health journey. Because even though it sounds really unrelated, it's actually kind of super important as part of our life and our kind of happiness in life. So, the word freedom really means different things to everyone, right? But it's often a word that we associate pretty closely with happiness or our, say, levels of stress or our lifestyle or our diet and our health. Freedom kind of covers all of those things or is really closely linked to all of those things. So, it touches everything in our life. And that I follow that concept of holistic health, that I'm all about, discussing and diving into and really just helping women to understand that concept of what holistic health looks like for them on, a cellular level for them. So, I can remember really, really clearly times in my life when I felt I had no freedom. And, that correlated pretty closely with times in my life of, the highest stress levels, of the most overwhelm that I've felt in my life. It really, those two were so interlinked and intertwined. And, particularly I can remember about 2 years ago, I was driving home from the supermarket. It had been one of those, 80-hour weeks on 80-hour weeks. And I was just feeling that absolute, the overwhelm was off the charts. And, I remember just thinking to myself as I was driving that I just needed a break, and I just needed that freedom to take a break even. And, it really, there wasn't one particular thing that I could put my finger on that I needed a break from. It was kind of just everything, right? It had got to that point of that pressure cooker that I just felt like I had no freedom at all in my life, and I couldn't even know where to start. And, I just didn't even know at that point of lacking freedom what I really enjoyed in life anymore, because I had neglected that part of my health and my well-being. Just I'd put it so far off the chart of what was important in my life that I just didn't even really know, if I did get that opportunity of freedom, what I enjoyed to actually spend the time using that time away or that break. So I don't know if this resonates with anyone, if it is hitting home for you. Just type a yes in the comments if you feel like you have ever experienced that point of stress or overwhelm where you just want freedom, but you've kind of forgotten what it looks like for you in your life. And you know, just feeling that fun or enjoyment, or it often, not knowing that anymore, comes from that feeling of complete imbalance in our lives. And we really have to consciously and actively put ourselves first, and kind of by default put our freedom first, to be able to really make sure that that comes back into play in terms of our holistic health. So in thinking about that, what does freedom actually look like for you? I encourage you to really think about that and just take some time to explore that in your mind, if you don't already really consider that in your kind of day-to-day going about your life and your routine and your family. What does freedom actually look like for you, or what does it resonate with for you? If you're into your journaling, take some time tomorrow to put that in as your topic that you're going to talk about, to in your pages of your journal, exploring and feeling into what is freedom in your life and what does it look like. And dream a little bit about it and find that fun in it. And take some time to write out what that kind of dream freedom life scenario looks like for you, because it's so important to keep that fun and that dreaming aspect in our day-to-day lives, because it's really easy to kind of just forget about it or not do it, and then all of a sudden you don't even know anymore what your dreams or your freedom looks like. For some examples, say, does freedom look like time for you? Is it time with your kids? Is it time with your, in your relationship? Is it time spent with your family? Is that the key freedom thing that comes up for you that you feel like you want more of? Is it health related? Particularly when it comes to our health, we don't realize that we can actually end up in some really negative cycles that are about as far from freedom as it can get. And maybe you struggle with finding that balance in your health and wellness and what you do day to day. It might be in terms of your food or your exercise freedom. Maybe you've lost that balance, or that, point of frame of reference about what it is you're actually doing and why you're doing it for yourself. It's really easy and common for a lot of women, particularly, to suddenly feel like they're trapped or locked into a particular diet or way of eating. I've got a lot of experience firsthand in this myself, that I've had times in my life when this has very much been me, that I have got so tied up in losing sight of the freedom around my food or my exercise, that I've lost that freedom, that I've been weighing every single bit of food that was going to go in my mouth. I've had Excel spreadsheets of calories and all sorts of really destructive negative behavior around diet or food or what I'm choosing to consume. And it really suddenly locked me into a life that had no freedom at all. And it was so destructive for my holistic health on so many levels. Maybe it is becoming or a process of being enough for yourself, that you can love yourself enough that you're using exercise once again, or starting exercise as a celebration of what your body can do, rather than the opposite end, where you might be, say, in the past have looked at it like it was a punishment for, say, something you ate the day before, or that you're coming from a mindset that you're doing exercise because it makes you feel good, and it's not simply a goal of trying to shrink your body or change your body shape, you know, looking at it from a place of freedom and positivity, saying, you know, my choices about my food or my diet and lifestyle come from a place of freedom, not a place of restriction or negativity, you know. Does freedom look like for you being you know, self-care related, or about something to do with your confidence? Say, for example, you know, that feeling of you want the freedom to wear that dress that you saw someone wearing on Instagram last night, but you've got that fear around it not being what you would usually wear, or that you don't feel confident or free in your body to wear something like that. You know, maybe it's too colorful, but you want that freedom to be able to love yourself enough or have that self-confidence that you can just wear it and rock it and you'd look amazing in it. And, you know, I really encourage you to explore for yourself, you know, that feeling of freedom. If it is around that self-confidence, you know, where is that fear or those hang-ups coming from for you in your life? You know, what is it that created that mindset for you? You know, was it something, where did that originate from? Where did that confidence or lack of confidence originate from around freedom in terms of the way you express yourselves with your clothes, or, you know, your hair color, for example? Just showing a prime example right here. You know, and a big one particularly that a lot of you might have initially flicked through your brain when you thought of the word of freedom. For a lot of people, it's directly connected to money, and that's a really, you know, a straight link that a lot of people make when they think of the word freedom. You know, for a lot of people, money does equal freedom, or it might, in their mind, might equal freedom. You know, the classic thing that if I won $1 million, I would ... You know, that's, for a lot of people, that's where their mind immediately goes. You know, and it's a topic that I am really passionate about talking about, because these are all parts of our holistic health that we often maybe don't quite think about or talk about a lot. You know, we often don't look into it, that mindset component of it is a huge part of our day-to-day health and well-being. And, you know, that concept that everything touches everything in our lives, right? So, you know, if your freedom or lack of freedom is suddenly feeling gets out of balance or is unbalanced, and some of these things are not balanced in your life, then suddenly, like, life can start feeling really hard, and a lot harder than it should be, right? So this was just a quick one. I'm going to leave it there, and I just wanted to share with you, you know, those couple of things to talk about. Thank you so much, sweetie. My hair, I actually just did it yesterday, so that's why it's looking particularly pinky today. See me in a couple of days and it will suddenly be a lot more pastel-y than it is right now. It's a bit bright, but I love it. And so, you know, when you go back and watch some of the earlier points in this video, you know, just to think about whether any of those concepts around freedom really, you know, resonated for you, whether it landed for you. I'm actually in the middle of finishing off a blog post that it talks about that financial freedom or money freedom concept, and how that is such an important part of our holistic health. I know for me personally, it's something that I've had to do a lot of my own personal development work around money mindset, and how I didn't realize it was actually quite negatively affecting my holistic health, and overcoming, you know, money blocks and money mindset. And so what I'm going to do is tomorrow I will make sure I post the link to that blog post, because I'd really love for you guys, if it has landed with you, about how, you know, freedom and money are kind of quite closely holding hands for you, and yeah, that you might get something out of that. So thanks so much, as always, for watching and joining along, my loves. If you've only caught the end of this, make sure leave your comments and with the hashtag replay, and I'll be able to dive back in and chat with you a bit more, because I'd love to hear what you think about this topic. And yeah, I'm going to go and have some dinner now and make sure I look after my holistic health, because it's been a really busy day, but lots of really awesome positive stuff. And, you know, for me, that topic of freedom really came up for me today a lot because of the fact that I was able to make sure that I did put that self-care priority front and center, to make sure that even though I was really busy, took the time out to go for a big long walk, took the dogs, and, you know, listening to podcasts and doing lots of those things that actually, even though they're really good for, say, my business or other aspects in my life, it's really good for my holistic health as well, taking that time and having that freedom structured into my day. So yeah, thanks for the support as always, and I hope you have a beautiful rest of your day, and I'll be seeing you again soon. Bye for now.